Hi, I'm David Goforth with Cooperative Extension, Cabarrus County Center.
And I'm Pam Booten, Family and Consumer Science Agent with Cooperative Extension. And it's our pleasure today to share with you Simply Local. We're going to be focusing on those summer vegetables that we all enjoy so very much. Hey David, isn't there a song that goes something like, in the summertime when the living is easy?
Living is easy?
Living is easy. Well,
Cooking is easy.
Cooking is easy, and we're really going to be living easy with this recipe.
All right.
We've got a basket full of beautiful summer vegetables. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, the yellow squash, actually, we were getting that by the end of April this year. And also the zucchini, very easy to grow, both of those here in Cabarrus County. Actually, these are my zucchini. I did grow these right here.
Thought you might mention that.
Fairly easy to grow them. The onion is a little bit harder to grow, but we do grow the red onion here in Cabarrus County. We grow yellow, white, and red onions. And if you're doing it in a home garden, you need to make sure you got intermediate day onions so they'll produce. They're very day length sensitive, and so we don't have the selection, particularly on the red onions. In fact, the red candy apple is the only one that we can really grow here. And then we can grow peppers. Peppers, the trick on growing peppers in a home garden is to have lots of water. They need more water than anything else, any of the other vegetables we have, and they need a steady source of water to get those good thick walls. And they will start off green, and we normally eat a lot of green ones because if you try to let them go to the red stage, you'll lose some of them because it's just hard to grow. They'll get some disease. And the yellow ones, I think, are even harder than the red ones, but some of the local farmers will grow both the red and the yellow ones here in Cabarrus County. So all these can be local vegetables for the summertime.
For the summertime and easy living. And I just think it's so fascinating that the green peppers eventually turn into red or turn into yellow as they mature. You know, a city girl like me growing up in the mountains, I wouldn't have thought about that, but I think that's fun to think. And you know, those vegetables are so healthy. Vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, fiber. We're not eating enough vegetables in our lives today, both in Cabarrus County, across the state, and the nation. And it's something we're really trying to work on, getting people to eat more fruits and vegetables.
One of the things people at the farmer's market, they'll say, my kids won't eat squash. And I asked them, I said, have you given them fresh squash? And that's a world of difference. If you get a kid eating the fresh squash, it tastes a lot better than some of the squash that's been stored for a while. Get them used to the taste, and then they can start eating all the squash and will like it.
Well, and you know, that's a good point. About a year or so ago, we did a whole show on squash, and we made a healthy squash casserole. I don't know if you remember that, but we didn't add a lot of things to it. And those squash could certainly be enjoyed raw as a dip, or they could be grilled, or they could be steamed. We're not even going to think about frying squash and zucchini. We're
just
not
thinking
even
about it right now.
Well, X
you
that.
mentioned it.
X that
That's
thought.
like, don't think about
X that thought from your mind.
Okay.
I should have never mentioned it. We're thinking healthy, steaming, roasting, and roasting is where we're going to go today. We've roasted vegetables before, but we've never roasted any of these vegetables. And when we talk about roasting vegetables, we're talking about roasting them, cooking them at a high temperature, 450 degrees, 425 degrees, and for a shorter bit of time. Now, we're going to do some oven roasted vegetables, and David, this is going to show you how easy it is to relax and enjoy the summertime. We're going to start out by making just a little sauce that will keep the vegetables from sticking together. And I've already added 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil into the bowl. Next, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. And this salt is very minimal and gives them a little bit of flavor. Then I'm just going to add about a half a teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. And you may say, well, why am I using ground pepper versus
why are you using ground pepper, Pam?
Well, you didn't have to ask me that, but since you did, David, the flavor is much stronger. It's a much more intense flavor. And I think that's about a half a teaspoon, don't you? The ground pepper is pretty powerful. So we've got our sauce or our basting oil ready now. It was just 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a half teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. Now we're going to add the star of the dish. We'll first add 1 yellow squash that has been sliced, and hopefully we're slicing them fairly even. The next thing we're going to add is 1 of your homegrown zucchinis that have been sliced, and we will add next 1 red pepper that has been chopped. These red peppers are going to add so much color to this dish. It's just going to make it really appealing. Then we'll add 1 yellow pepper that has been washed really well and has been chopped into table-sized bites. And you know, David, that's something I think I failed to mention earlier, the importance of washing the produce. It goes without saying that we've already washed the produce that we're using and that we wash our hands when that's over. It's just something we really need to be emphasizing. So now we have our zucchini, our yellow squash, red pepper, yellow pepper, and red onion. Could we add other things? We sure could. Perhaps you'd like to add a zucchini that's been cut into bite-sized pieces. I'm just trying to mix this up a little bit, trying to get the oil more evenly distributed, getting the pepper and salt distributed. So we could add asparagus stalk if we wanted to that has been broken or cut into bite-sized pieces. I made this the other night at home and I added the little baby red potatoes that I had not even peeled but just cut in half and then quartered, and if they were really thick or really big, I cut them into 6 pieces. Oh, that was so good. All right.
Would you cut the potatoes a little smaller thickness than the squash?
Yes, that's what my point was. It does take those little red potatoes a little bit longer to cook. So if they were really big, I cut them into 6 quarters. If they were just kind of a small, I cut them into quarters. Now we're going to simply add this to our roasting pan. And there's the roasting pan has been covered with some aluminum foil. And David, the reason I did that is to make the cleanup quick and easy. That's what we're all about in this situation. Now we are ready to roast the vegetables at about 450 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Watch these kind of carefully to make sure they're not getting overdone. And every 15 minutes or so, you'll just turn these over to make sure that they are staying kind of covered by the oil and the spices that we've added. After roasting them for about 30 minutes, we're ready to enjoy our fresh, roasted summer vegetables. Was that not easy?
That was easy.
That was so easy and so colorful and tasty. This is pretty much fun eating local, isn't it, David?
It is when you have good local produce.
When you have local produce, and it's awful simple to eat local too if you have your local produce.
Eating simple and eating local.
Eating simple and eating local. That's what we're all about.